Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to a new video, and welcome to the center of Moscow. I'm here by Kuznetsky Most Street, and we're going to have a walk around for a little while and check out what it feels like on a Saturday afternoon here in Moscow in December. Okay, let's go. Now, it's going to be a little bit kind of noisy, it's going to be nice and quiet. So hopefully we kind of get a bit of a feel of the atmosphere, I think. Very typically here on Kuznetsky Most Street, there's always a busker, or two or three. And then today there's a young lady right here, kind of belting out all the tunes in English, funny enough. She's doing lots of 80s and 90s kind of songs. And then as we swing around down Kuznetsky Most Street, hopefully, now the snowplow guy in his little machine here has just been up and down a couple of times, and he's going to go screaming past us here, so I'm not too sure. Hopefully the sound is coming across nicely. I've had a few tips from somebody how to film a little bit better, and hopefully bit of an action shot. Check that out. Yeah, these little kind of mini snow clearers are perfect for these kind of closed walking streets. Have a look at the Christmas trees here. How nice are these? Now, this has got cobblestone similar to a red square, so I'm very cautious walking along here because they've just cleared this part and they put some salt down, but it's still nice photo chance. They've just put some salt down and it's always a little bit awkward to walk. There's a nice kind of little cafe shop right here on the left. And then let's go down a little bit further. So just looking back up the street here, it's actually such a nice place to walk as well, especially today. It's not very cold, it's about -3 or 4, and there's no wind and light snow falling. I just want to point out also over here, now you guys know I make videos in shopping centers and stores and supermarkets. This was the very big Nike store right here, this kind of 4-level kind of place. It was absolutely huge, and it's essentially for rent now, so someone's going to get a great location. Look at these trees again. And as we get to the bottom of Kuznetsky Most Street, it does extend a little bit further down, but kind of at the intersection here, there's a pretty interesting kind of a convenience store right here. They used to have some very nice kind of old displays in the window, but they seem to have just put some big stickers over it now. And here is, I'm not too sure who this guy is. He's kind of a bit of a cross between one of those London kind of guards and a Russian version, with his big mustache there. And we'll see here the square where is Sum, which is the very, very famous luxury department store, which is kind of over 4 levels. It's a big place too. I never feel like I'm dressed properly to go in there every time I go. And just looking down the street here again. So yeah, it's kind of lightly snowing. They do tend to clear the roads here very quickly, so that's why you see that kind of white sort of snow disappears very quick on the streets. And then this is the main square here of Kuznetsky Most, which has kind of got fencing around it because they put their Christmas trees up, but they're still about a week away to having all the decorations finished. They tend to kind of have them close to the end of December, then leading into January. And here is the big entrance to Sum. Always find it interesting, they've got a car in the main entrance here on the left-hand side, but have a look. Then actually, this is kind of interesting. If anyone's watched my previous videos, I filmed a little bit around here. You can see some of the closed stores that have essentially left Russia, which are kind of all along this sort of street here. So Omega, Tag Heuer, and then this big corner here was where the Adidas store was. And There's obviously nothing there, but these Christmas trees, once they put the lights on and decorations, it'll become kind of selfie heaven. So just in case you're in the mood for some car shopping, it's actually a Maserati right in the entrance. Maybe this is just somebody's car parked here. They just like to be close to the entrance. I wonder. Actually, I think it's a car dealership. Car parked up. There's a big Maserati sign and kind of video playing right here. So very nice car. I don't think this is a cheap one either. Now, walking around here again, I think we end up just seeing lots of people pausing for photos, all looking for that kind of nice background. You see here the building with Sum, and they've got their lights up and they kind of garlands in the window. And then a lot of the main streets in the center of Moscow have these big kind of light decorations here that they put up once a year, and then later in the evening they kind of really show out. You can kind of get a good shot from across the road. And then how nice do these trees look? Wow. Yeah, once they kind of get these decorated and open this fencing here, it's going to be people everywhere. They're still probably about a few days or maybe a week away from having this fully ready. And then walking a little bit further along, we're now on Petrovska Street, which has the very famous department store on the right there called Petrovsky Passage, or Passage. You've got to say it with that kind of French-Russian accent. You can see these very old buildings here. And then a little bit of the traffic. Definitely coming here on Saturday and Sunday. The roads are a little bit quieter. You'll see again all of these buildings where all the luxury stores were, which are essentially kind of empty now. They've still got all the lights on. Cartier looks like he's still paying the bills. As we look up Kuznetsky Most Street here, this is kind of the non-glamorous end of Kuznetsky Most Street. We've got the nice big tree here again. Aeroflot has a little bit of branding right there. I guess it's a smart thing for the local government to do, right? Would you like to pay for a tree? Yes. We can put our name on it, and you can put up a big tree and have a look at the view back up Kuznetsky Most Street. I thought you might like to see at least one of the cars that someone's driving here in Moscow is a Tesla. Yes. And right behind us here is Petrovsky Passage. Passage? I say it kind of very British, don't I? So beautiful, this small little... It's kind of an arcade shopping mall, but very fancy cars always parked out front. And they've actually got a concierge. I really wonder in winter what the range of this Tesla would be with the cold weather. The battery must die very fast. And then if anybody wants to come for a beer in Moscow, have a look. De Beers. We can stop for a beer at De Beers. Now, I'm sure you all know that this is actually a diamond boutique. It's not a beer cafe or a beer bar, but it'd be a great name for one. As we see everybody kind of rugged up. And then the Marriott, which I think is not the Marriott anymore. These guys decided to leave Russia, I believe, but the signage and everything about the Marriott is still the Marriott, so I'm not really too sure. It's always a little bit strange. Have a look across the street here. A nice, huge building. It's a little bit quiet today, being that it's a non-working day. And then we can see the big Gucci store, which is no more Gucci. I think they're going to call it Pucci now. No Gucci, Pucci. Might be the changing name, I wonder. It's a beautiful building too, by the way. Kind of such a shame some of these kind of stores are now sort of closed or vacated, but I guess such is the times we're in right now here in Moscow. Now, as we leave Gucci behind me, we're going to walk up Stoleshnikov Street. I always get these words very badly pronounced, I'm sorry. And actually it's quite a bit colder than what I realized. It's -4 Celsius, but the real feel is -11. It doesn't feel that bad, but I don't have my gloves on, so I guess I'm kind of starting to feel it slowly. Now, a lot of people call this street the most expensive in all of Moscow. Now, I'm not sure all of Russia, but this was kind of where a lot of the luxury stores existed, or some do still exist, but it's a beautiful place to walk in December in Moscow. Now, I always get these marbles a little bit confused here. Sculpture Agatha, mirrored polished stainless steel. Have a look. Looks like a bit of a bear to me, but what do you think? Здравствуйте. I really think walking up these kind of lanes in Moscow really kind of is that kind of quintessential December snowy day that we kind of always see in the movies, we see on different, I guess, YouTube channels and kind of walk-arounds. And it's a bit eerie now in walking on this street because most of the very well-known brands here have all, well, they say they've left, but have they really left? That's what I'm always curious about. Have they gone? Здравствуйте. I don't have to do too much here to make this look beautiful, I don't think. Just sort of walk. I really should be quiet and just let you soak it up. Yeah, this building on the right here with the scaffolding has been like this for a few years. I would imagine the restoration company are basically pacing themselves, I think. Oh wow, that's a postcard right there. Yeah, this kind of late afternoon kind of time where these lights start to kind of kick in. It's a very beautiful time to walk in Moscow. Now, I don't know where you might be from in the world. Oh, there's a lady waving to me. No, oh, maybe she's not. She's waving to somebody else. I'm not that lucky, but we'll see here on the right, Cartier is no longer Carter. Do you think it's going to become Carter now that Cartier is no longer here? And then Richard Mille, or Richard Mille. It's for the most expensive street in Moscow. It's got a very interesting place to walk. You can see lots of families come out here. Just nice, calm day. Snow's falling. Beautiful time of day to walk around. Now, this street I actually like to call the Golden Mile, or what really makes up a good part of the Golden Mile. Prada's very interesting here. The lights are all on, and then they've got displays in the windows, and then they've even got a non-slip pad down for their steps to go inside. So I wonder what's going on. Are they trading and we don't know about it? Here is, or was, the Louis Vuitton store, or LV, as they like to be called. And then as we look back down the street here, look how nice it is. Kids are a little bit excited, walking in the snow, but not much I need to do to make this shot look nice. Now, not all of the streets in Moscow are beautiful, but even with the snow falling here, it can still look very nice. You see what happens when these kind of streets, they kind of turn to a bit of a slush and a mush. But if you kind of avoid looking at that, we get this nice view back up the street. And we're going to head now towards Bolshoi Theatre, which is about a 3 or 4 minute walk from here. And then have a look at this beautiful cafe here, Krasnodar. I wonder if they're serving kind of regional cuisine in there. This very nice renovated building. Looks like it's not quite finished yet, but wow, very nice place. Not sure about these open balconies though. And then as we walk a bit further on towards the Bolshoi Theatre, we can see here, oh, well, I was going to show you Teakrannaya Street, which is on the left. When you come around this corner, have a look at how nice the lights look here as well. Pretty much all of these streets in the middle of Moscow center. Yeah, probably the lights aren't looking probably as beautiful here, but it's a very nice view. Teakrannaya Street. Again, I always get these wrong. I always sort of make them into an English pronunciation rather than the Russian word that it is. And it leads up to Tverskaya Street, way off in the distance there. Now, my Russian reading is not very good, but I think that's Anna Karenina. I'm almost certain that's what it says. Here's another one of the theatres kind of close by the Bolshoi. And then the Bolshoi is off on the right-hand side. You can kind of see the light green building is the kind of backside of it. As we head on down. So looking back up Okhotny Street, we can see, well, off in the very distance is what would be the first part of Red Square and the Kremlin. And then we can see the big Four Seasons Hotel here. How big does this place look? It's huge when you're standing here. And then we can see a bit of Moscow traffic. Of course, we can't hide from it. And then this is the State Duma here, where all the big decisions are made in Russia. Kind of like the Parliament building, I guess you would call it, but you can see today, obviously, everybody's not at work. There's no cars in the car park. And then after walking kind of in a bit of a circle, really, but we've not walked all that far, here is the famous Bolshoi Theatre. I think one of the most recognized spots in all of the center of Moscow. And they've got their Christmas lights up now and their decorations. They're huge, by the way, when you see people standing by them, but that's just very Moscow style, where they build things just that little bit bigger than everywhere else. Have a look at these lights as we walk in here. Everybody out and about for photos. This is kind of early afternoon, by the way, so it's not that late in Moscow. But of course, being winter, it gets dark much earlier than what we're used to here in Moscow. Then have a look, it looks like a big Christmas bauble. Huge Christmas bauble. You can sit inside, kind of relax, get a nice photograph as we swing around and look at the Bolshoi. And we can see the other side of Sum right here, which we saw a little bit earlier. Very nice. Sum and the Bolshoi together there. So beautiful. No matter which way you kind of look, there's a chance for a photo everywhere. Now, I was trying to convince my wife to come for a walk with me today, but again, this colder weather, she was happy to stay home. She was on a bit of a cleaning frenzy in our apartment, so she's missing out coming for a beautiful walk in Moscow instead of staying at home, doing a bit of cleaning and watching a movie. So I guess it's a nice other way to spend the day, but have a look at all the lights here and these decorations. I think no matter how many times you come here, it never gets old. Really, you can kind of come every year and it just feels magical. I think, is that the word to say? You've kind of got that feeling of the holidays in December time. Very nice. And then just walking towards the entrance of the Bolshoi. Seems to be a bit of a gathering. I'm not too sure. Oh, здравствуйте. С Новым годом! Nice. And what looks like either a big feather or a big clamshell. Nice photo opportunity. Then have a look at this. I'm not sure what best to call it, but Bolshoi style Christmas tree. Very nice. It's kind of like a lighthouse in a bit of a way. I'm not too sure. Maybe it has some meaning. Man, the Bolshoi is a big building. That's why it's called Bolshoi, which is big in English. Now, I do promise you, it's a little bit earlier in the day than it really looks on camera, but these kind of decorations are so bright that it kind of throws off the look here. But as we look towards the Kremlin off in the very distance and Red Square, this is such a nice spot to kind of wander around in this early evening time. And have a look again at the amount of people kind of coming across here to check it out. Lots of people. There's a main road here that you can kind of cross, coming from Red Square over to Bolshoi and Kuznetsky Most. So you can see everybody's dressed nice and warm. Of course, this is very usual for December. You know, you're not going to come out in shorts and flip-flops. Everybody's got the jackets, scarves, hats, beanies. And then have a look at this big Christmas bauble again. So I was hoping for that beautiful kind of wide shot of the Bolshoi Theatre here. But one of those kind of red tourist buses is going by with not a single person on it. Now, if you're a local and live here, these aren't particularly cheap to take a tour on, but I guess if you come here as a one-off kind of holiday, it's not too bad. Everybody's really waiting at the bus stop for the normal buses. And as we turn around, we've got one last kind of part to show in this video, and this is Plochett Revolutsy, which actually leads to the metro station off in the distance. And then we can see the big statue here. This is Karl Marx, kind of looking over the Bolshoi Theatre. And then we can see the Metropole Hotel off in the distance. And everybody here crossing the road from the Bolshoi. And then most people will be heading towards Red Square now in this direction. Pretty much everyone is kind of doing the kind of photo rounds like I'm doing today. So, and have a look. And you can just see one of the corners of the Kremlin just here in the distance, whereas the Four Seasons Hotel kind of blocking the way there, but another kind of beautiful spot. And here's another very big portico. That's what I'm going to call it, a portico. And typically these are all water fountains in summertime, but of course in winter they switch them off and basically drain the water out of them. But very nice spot to walk around, and you can just see the buildings here that are kind of the backside of Nikulskaya Street, which also is a very famous kind of a street in the center of Moscow. Have a look. The fountain's kind of a little bit closed off, but in summertime it's definitely a nice spot to have a walk around. And I was kind of hoping for a nice kind of view back up Revolutsy Square here, but they've got a kind of a porta cabin set up. So I wonder, maybe they're doing some work on the square. And these are these kind of very typical kind of workers' cabins that they set up around the place. You can see everybody coming and going here. It's the easy shortcut to Red Square, which everybody's walking where I'm from behind me. I think there's a little bit of a group doing a walk around here, but we can see the Bolshoi Theatre just off in the distance. Now, just come over to the main square here at Plochett Revolutsy, and they've got a small kind of Christmas market. And that thing right there looks like a big donut kind of thing. Actually, it's nice just to stand by the fire for a few minutes to warm up, but they've got this very nice outdoor market here, mostly just with food and drinks, so you can get kind of hot drinks, teas, mostly teas, and then mulled wines, kind of like fruity teas, and then kind of alcohol kind of infused wines, but everybody enjoying the kind of snacks. Oh, and have a look, there's a guy here with the big barbecue here in the middle, kind of doing sausages. It's a pretty neat, it's probably a bit hard to see from here, but oh, there we go. Actually nice and warm again. Nice sausages. And then, you know, even with the cold weather, sit down, hot drink, some hot food, and warm up. And then have a look at the big merry-go-round here. This is actually free as well. That's why it's crowded here. You just have to line up, but you can go on this for free. Everybody just finished their ride there. Adults, parents, kids, and the next lot of people come on from the other side then. But very nice. And these guys, probably the hardest working in Moscow, cleaning snow essentially around the clock at these kind of outdoor events. They're basically non-stop doing this. It's not the easiest of jobs, I can assure you, but looks like everybody's having a nice time. This merry-go-round is nice and well lit up here. It's not so big, this particular fair in the middle of Prospect Revolution, but it's nice to see everybody out and about. Hello. Enjoying themselves and having some food and drinks and getting warm. And then you can just see ahead of me here the metro station, Prospect Revolution. This is the closest one to Red Square, essentially. There is a Hotny Yard which is off behind me, but it's kind of the physically closest one. And then we're going to end the video in a few minutes. We're going to check out the ice rink here. Hopefully we can kind of get a good look at it. But you can see the line here for the merry-go-round. And of course, like I said, it was free. So this is a nice thing that the local administration do for the families and kids. There's no need to charge exorbitant amounts. Put it on for free and let the kids have fun. And then the ice rink here is almost free. Now, it's actually 50 rubles if you bring your own skates. And then you can actually rent skates and the whole lot of gear as well. But you kind of have to register for this one. It's not so easy to get tickets. You can kind of come and line up and hope, which some people do, but most people have kind of pre-booked to come and do this. And there's actually a cafe inside. It's probably a little bit hard to see from here, but nice place to sit inside at the cafe. Everybody ducking their heads. It's quite funny. Yeah, it's a nice spot, this ice rink. Let's have a look, see if we can see some people doing some skating. And then here we are. Actually, they've got these kind of very bright neon lights, but 2023 there off in the distance. Now, it's not very busy here. They do limit the amount of people on this rink because it's basically a free or a 50 ruble entrance. They try not to kind of pile people in here like they do at some of the private rinks where you're paying a little bit higher price. But such a nice spot. You can come and watch people do some laps, I guess. And these penguins right here for the kids, or for the not so confident skaters. You can grab a penguin and do a lap around. Okay, everybody, I want to thank you for watching the video. I do hope you've liked this walk around here in the center of Moscow. So the snow's kind of stopped now. So I'm going to go inside and warm up. I'm a little bit cold and chilly. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments. Maybe you recognize some of the areas in the video. It will be interesting. Oh, здравствуйте.
Hello.
Here's one of the very nice guards.
I'm from Russia, from Chechnya.
Oh, from Chechnya.
Yeah.
Oh, Kadyrov.
Russia, yeah.
Kadyrov. Yes, nice. Here's one of the security guards looking after everyone here at the ice skating rink. He was just helping me before with the filming, so thanks everybody. I hope you've had a nice day with walking around here with me in Moscow. If you are subscribed, thank you for being a subscriber and watching to the end of the video. I hope you like this one. Post a comment, and I'm off on another adventure. Bye, everybody.